Member of the Judiciary Committee, Democratic Congressman David Cicilline of Rhode Island. Congressman, talk about John Dean as one of the witnesses. What is the aim there?
Good morning. Well, the purpose of these hearings, and we'll begin a series of hearings today that will begin to tell the American people about the contents of the Mueller report. And John Dean, of course, can tell better than anyone the kind of historical context of it, a corrupt administration and a cover-up. But the real purpose of the hearing are the other two witnesses who are going to help the American people understand the exact conduct of the president. The president of the United States ordered Don McGahn to fire the special counsel, and then he ordered Don McGahn to lie about it and even create false documents to support that lie. He directed an outside person, Corey Lewandowski, to direct the Attorney General of the United States to curtail the investigation of the special counsel, and 7 other instances of obstruction of justice. So this will be an opportunity to tell the American people what's in the Mueller report. Only 3% of the American people have read it. It's our responsibility to bring that report to life, and this is the beginning of that effort.
Congressman, we want to get your reaction, though, to what one of your Republican colleagues told Casey Hunt last night. Here is Republican Congressman Rob Woodall explaining why he did not read the Mueller report.
Have you read the Mueller report in full?
I have not.
Why not?
I said when we started this conversation that I trusted Mr. Mueller. He took a lot of slings and arrows throughout this process, but every U.S. attorney I knew said this is a man of great integrity.
Yeah.
He's going to lead this,
so why not read the
this
report?
investigation. Well, I have a concern when you put the entire power of the United States Justice Department behind anything. You can achieve an agenda. You can drive a message.
I'm at a loss of words. I don't even know what to ask you. The guy did not read the Mueller report.
It's a grave dereliction of duty. I read the Mueller report in its entirety the day it was released. I think everyone has a responsibility to do that.
It's a complete dereliction of duty.
Absolutely. And if people read the Mueller report, they will come to the inevitable conclusion that this president has engaged in serious misconduct, crimes, and impeachable offenses. Everyone has a responsibility to read it, particularly members of Congress who are required to make judgments on this. But we're going to help Congressman Woodall because we're going to help bring the report to life in the beginning of a series of hearings today.
Good. Maybe you'll read it to him and maybe read some portions to him and educate him as to what he didn't actually see because he didn't read it. This is a member of Congress who doesn't read the special counsel's report. I mean, this is Trumpism, a lack of knowledge, a lack of desire to even know anything that might be true.
Yeah, and sadly, Mika, you know, the Republicans on the committee and in the Congress broadly have evidenced no willingness to hold this administration or this president accountable in any way. So, you know, it's not hard to imagine that they're not interested in even reading the report, because if you don't intend engaging in robust oversight in a serious way, it may not be a productive use of your time. But it's appalling.
Congressman, how do you square the need for continued oversight and investigations on the Hill with looking at what happened in Iowa, for example, over this weekend, the discussion, the debates there, and the fact that nobody was talking about the Mueller investigation and nobody was asking about Russia? Not even the candidates were talking about the Mueller investigation.
Yeah, look, I think we have to do 2 things. We have to continue to deliver on priorities of the American people. We've passed 250 pieces of legislation, including 10 health care bills to drive down prescription drug costs, to protect coverage for pre-existing conditions. We've passed equal pay for equal work, universal background checks, child care assistance for veterans, a tax relief for Gold Star families. So we're getting the work done. The Grim Reaper, as he calls himself, the Senate Majority Leader, has said he's not going to take up any of these bills. But we need to continue to focus on the issues that matter to the American people and deliver on those and get the government working for them again. And in addition to that, we need to hold this administration accountable. And I think one of the reasons lots of people don't talk about it is they expect us just to do our job. We took an oath. This is part of our responsibility. They don't want to hear about the day-to-day oversight responsibilities, but they expect us to do it. They want us to do both things: deliver on the issues that matter in their lives, hold this administration accountable, make sure the president understands no one in America, including him, is above the law, follow the facts, get to the truth, and take the appropriate action.
So, Congressman, you indicated already that only 3% of the American public has read the report. You have read it. Many members of the House and the Senate have not read it. So this inquiry that is about to begin today with John Dean appearing is not your obligation, given the illiteracy or functional illiteracy surrounding us, to tell a story. And from Woonsocket to Watch Hill in your state, a lot of people have not read this. So how are you going to tell this story? How are you going to make it compelling? Who are your witnesses going to be? Is there going to be a chase scene? Is there going to be good guys, bad guys? Tell us how you intend to tell the story.
Well, we're going to begin that effort today, and I think what you'll see is members of the committee walk the witnesses through the Mueller report, read sections of it so that the report really comes alive, so people understand what the conduct of this president has been and around him, and then have them make judgments on what that conduct means. Then we'll hopefully, in very short order, hear from the special counsel himself, who will continue to provide that information. But this is really, it should be remembered, when the Nixon impeachment inquiry began, only 19% of the American people supported impeachment. By the time it was done and the story was fully told and people understood what happened, the overwhelming majority of the American people supported it. Folks are leading their lives, taking care of their kids, working every day. They don't have the time to study this and read all this. That's what they hired us to do. That's our responsibility in Congress. So members of Congress have a responsibility to do that. We have a responsibility to use these hearings to really tell the story of the pervasive corruption, abuse of power, and misconduct of this president.
Congressman,
Bob
what's the strategy behind calling Mr. Dean and continuing to talk about issues like Watergate, especially since much of the country was not alive in the 1970s when this was all unfolding?
Well, I think it provides some important historical context. Certainly, Mr. Dean knows about a corrupt administration. He knows the power of a cover-up, and I think he's going to provide a really important historical context. The counsel, the former U.S. attorneys that will testify today, will walk through some of the elements of the offenses. This is sort of the backdrop, the context of the hearing as we begin to really bring in the actual witnesses that are referenced in the Mueller report.
All right, Congressman David Cicilline, thank you very much. Good luck today.
Thanks.
Robert
Thanks for having me.
Costa, thank you for your reporting. And still ahead on Morning